prayer. Yes, this prayer is on page 172 of Universal Prayers, the last one on that page, 172. This is from Sri Krishna Karnamritam, very nice scripture, Vaishnava scripture. So let me chant. Om Tamasi Ravirivodyan Majjata Mamburashau Plava Iva Trishitanam Swaduvarshiva Megha Nidiriva Vidhananam Dirgativramayanam Vishagiva Kushalam No Dhatumayatu Shauri. May the Lord bestow His grace upon us all. His grace can come in many different forms. Here in the sloka, several examples are given how the grace of God can come to us. Tamasi Ravirivodyan. Ravi means sun. Udyan Ravi, the sun rising. When the sun rises, Tamasi, those who are shrouded in darkness, they get light. So similarly, in our life, we are in the darkness of tamas, ignorance of our true nature. May the sun of knowledge bring us light of the self-knowledge. Tamasi Ravirevodyan Majjata Mambura Shau Plava Iva. Ambura Shau Majjatam, those who are drowning in the ocean of life. For them, Plava means a boat. If a boat is given, they will be able to cross over the ocean of samsara. May the grace of God come to us in that form. Trishitanam Swaduvarshiva Megha. Those who are suffering from thirst, no water. For them, if the clouds bring water, they will feel great relief. Nitireva Vidhananam. Vidhana means those who don't have money. Dhanam means money. Poor people. For them, Nidhi, if money is given, they will be able to satisfy their basic needs. Dirgativra Mayanam Vishageva. Vishak means a Vaidya, doctor. Dirga Tivra Mayanam. Dirga means for a long time, people are suffering from Amaya means disease, Tivra, intense, severe disease. For them, if a doctor comes and gives proper medicine, relieves them of their pain, they will get relief. In the same way, Shaurihi Kusalam no Datum. Datam Ayatam Kusalam no Hari. May the Lord Hari bring us relief from our suffering due to ignorance of our true nature, ignorance of God, not having known God, seen God. That is darkness. From that, may He lead us to light. That is the prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Last time we concluded chapter 17. The last topic in chapter 17 was how to spiritualize all our activities. In our daily life, we engage in many different kinds of activities. Some of them are secular activities, which are going to work, working in a clinic or office or school or wherever, business or government, that is necessary for householders. And then work in the family environment, cooking, cleaning, taking care of children, other responsibilities, and then work in the social environment. Work is going on. Some of it is secular, much of it is secular, what we call secular, and some of it is spiritual. We make that distinction in the beginning. Spiritual activities such as worshipping our chosen ideal, repeating God's name, japa, chanting mantras and hymns, all those things we call spiritual activities. Now here in the Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said earlier in several places, all activities, including those that we call secular activities, should be done as spiritual activities, as worship. It will come in this chapter also. In the 18th chapter it will come. Earlier it has come many places. Bhagavan has said, whatever work you do, including eating, yat karoshi yadashnasi, specifically as mentioned eating, all such routine activities such as eating, etc., whatever you do, yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat johoshi dadasiyat, whatever you give in as dana, charity, yat tapasyasi, whatever tapasya, spiritual activity, puja, etc., that we do, tat kurushamadarpanam, do it as an offering to me. So did we study that one? Chapter 9, sloka number 27, very important. Similarly, in other places, he has been saying that whatever you do, offer it to me, do it as worship. So all activities have to be converted into spiritual activities. How to do that one? Two things have to be kept in mind. First is our frame of mind, attitude. Everything I do should be done with the same devotion, love, joy, and gratitude that we do worship. Thinking it is worship of God, offering to God, or mind. Second thing is, as we saw in the last part of the 17th chapter, we have to remember the divine presence in all and everything. And an easy way to do that is to chant Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Before we perform any action, we should chant Om. At the end, we should say Om Tat Sat. All these three, Om Tat Sat, they are descriptions of Brahman, ultimate reality. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha Brahmana Trivida Smrtaha. So that we studied. So how to spiritualize all our activities? Every step we take is worship of God. Every word I say is worship of God. Every morsel of food I eat is worship of God. Everything I do is worship of God. Except, of course, Nishiddha karma, bad karma, telling lies and cheating, those things should not be done. That has been given up. So that was the instruction. Now the 18th chapter begins with a discussion of Sannyasa and Tyaga, two important concepts. What is Sannyasa? What is Tyaga? What is the difference between them? And which one should we do? Should we do Sannyasa or should we do Tyaga? That question is discussed in the first two slokas of chapter 18. Before we do that, we have to go back a little bit and establish a background for this discussion. Why this question has come? Arjuna asked the question in the first sloka, chapter 18, what is Sannyasa, what is Tyaga? Explain to me. So let us do first sloka. Then we go back and create the, understand the background. Arjuna uvacha Sannyasasya mahabaho tattamichhami veditum Tyagasya cha hrishikesha pratakkeshi nishudana. Arjuna uses two words, two names of Sri Krishna in this shloka. Hrishikesha, which has come before, Kesha Nishudana. Arjuna calls Krishna Kesha Nishudana. What is Kesha Nishudana means? There was a Rakshasa whose name was Keshi. That Rakshasa was giving trouble to everybody. So Sri Krishna killed him. Keshni Sudhana means the Lord who killed the Asura Sri Kesh. Now the question is, Sannyasasya Tattvam Tyagasya Cha. Two things I want to know. Sannyasasya Tyagasya Tattvam Vedittum Ichchami. Tattvam means the truth as it is. Not the verbal meaning, superficial meaning. The real meaning, the essence of what is sannyasa, what is tyaga. These two things have come before in the Gita. What are they? What is tyaga? What is sannyasa? What is tyaga? Mahabaho, another name. Tattam ichchami, veditam ichchami. That I like to know. The essence of sannyasa, essence of tyaga, I like to know. Prithak separately. So that was the question. In the introduction to this chapter 18, Shankara has made a very nice statement. I'm going to read it in English. Shankara's commentary. In order to conclude here the contents of the entire science of the Gita as well as those of the Vedas, this chapter is begun the present chapter. The ideas expressed in all the previous chapters may be grasped from this chapter alone. So Shankara says 18 chapters is like a summary of the entire Gita. But Arjuna seeks to know the distinction between renunciation and relinquishment. Tyaga, renunciation, sannyasa, relinquishment, tyaga. What is the difference? That's how the chapter begins. Now, the answer to this question, Bhagavan says in sloka number 2, Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshana. Here the Lord says, sages, vichakshana means Pandita, the last word, vichakshana means those who know the truth, the knowers of truth. Pandita, vichakshana, what do they say? Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam. What is sannyasa? Sannyasa means giving up kamya karmas. Kamya karma means karma done with, prompted by kama. Kama means desire. Selfish desire. To fulfill one's own selfish desire, if I do some work exclusively for my benefit only, then that becomes kamya karma. So we have been told that kamya karma should be given up. Whatever work you do should be nishkama karma, as opposed to kamya karma. Kamya karma means work that is done for my benefit. I want to get this benefit, so I'll do this work. That is kamya karma. As opposed to that, all actions have to be done not for just for my benefit, but as an offering to the Lord. Many times in the Gita, he has said, whatever you do, offer it to me. Or you should offer it to the Lord because I practice detachment. One. Second thing is I express my love, devotion to God by giving. I become a selfless person by offering something to the Lord or to anybody or to society. That means any work that I do should be done in the broader interest, just for my interest, not for my interest, but it must benefit all and everybody. Any work that I do should benefit as many people as possible, not just me and my family. And keeping the broadest interest in the broadest possible context, we have to perform all our actions, not just for myself alone. So giving up that kamya karma is called sannyasa. Now, is called Sannyasa. What is Tyaga then? Is defined in the second line, sloka number 2. Sarva karma phala tyagam prahus tyagam vichakshana. Sarva karma phala tyagam. Sarva means all. Karma means actions. All action that I do. Phala means the fruit of all my actions. Sarva karma phala tyagam, the fruits of all my actions have to be given up. The given up means practice detachment. You do the action, but you are not attached to the karma phala. Whatever karma phala comes, I will accept it, whether it is to my liking or not, whether it is successful or not, profit or loss, whatever comes as a result of my work, that I shall accept with equanimity, without complaining if it is not to my liking, and without too much exaltation if it is successful. Equanimity in accepting the fruits of our action. That discipline is called Tyaga. Sarva karma phala tyagam prahus tyagam vichakshana. The Sarva karma phala tyaga has come before. Same term has come, phrase has come before in the chapter 12. Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna was describing the qualities of a bhakta, true devotee of God. Many qualities are described there in chapter 12, beginning from sloka 13 to 19. Remember that series of slokas. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karna evacha. That is those are qualities of a bhakta, devotee of God. One quality is Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, no dvesha towards any being, only love for all beings in the heart of a devotee. Like that. Among those qualities of a bhakta, this is mentioned there in the 11th verse, actually before that one. Sarva karma phala tyagam means tatah kuryatatmavan, giving up the fruits of all actions. Devotees have to do, jnanis have to do, karma yogis have to do, everybody has to do. Essential spiritual practice. Karma we have to do, karma phala tyaga has to be done. No attachment to karma phala. That is called tyaga. Sarva karma phala tyagam prahus tyagam vichakshana. So is the difference between sannyasa and tyaga? Sannyasa means kamyanam karmanam nyasam, giving up all kamya karma, doing only karma which benefits all and everybody. When I do some work, I should do it for the benefit of not only myself, but for my immediate people in my family or workplace, in my department or division, my company or department, and for all other people, all other animals, plants, and all of nature. Nature should also be kept in mind. Whatever work I do should not harm nature. If I do start some industry, I may get benefit from it. But in that process, if it causes pollution, environmental pollution, by releasing harmful effluents into the water stream, into air, causes air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, then that industry may be beneficial for me, but it is harmful to nature. Nature means all other people. The lives of all other people, animals and plants are endangered if I cause pollution. That is why we have to think before I do any action, what are the results of this action? How do the result of my action benefit or harm other beings, other people, animals and plants and nature? So that thoughtfulness, that will come later in this 18th chapter. What are the factors to be considered before performing an action? You will study that later. So sannyasa means giving up kamya karma. Now sannyasa ordinarily means people taking monastic vows, wearing saffron clothes or some other monastic robe and going away to the forest That is one kind of sannyasa. That is not for all. Very small number of people who do not want to be entangled in the worldly life and who have complete renunciation, no taste for worldly life, they can do that one. Those are not, it's not meant for all, it's meant for the few. But majority people have to stay in society and serve the society, thereby serving the Lord. Whatever service you do to any person or being reaches the Lord. The least service that we do to the least of these children of God reaches me, the Lord says. So that is a better way. This was discussed in the earlier chapters of the Gita. Now we have to do a little bit backtracking to understand the Sannyasa Tyaga concept. Now let us go back to chapter 3. There the discussion came. Different ways to reach God. We have to do a little bit of background study for this 18th chapter. So chapter 3, sloka number 3. There, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, there are two paths to reach God. The sloka was 3.3, chapter 3, sloka number 3. There he said, Lokesmin dividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha. Lokesmin dividha nishtha pura prokta. Pura means earlier ancient times. Prokta maya, by me, have been said. Two paths have been laid out. What are they? Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. People with different tendencies, different temperaments. For some people who are interested in the path of jnana, they are not particularly interested in worshipping personal God as devotees, but they want to contemplate on the that is the ultimate reality Brahman, nameless, formless, attributeless reality Brahman. For those people, Jnana Yoga is prescribed. What is Jnana Yoga? We studied that in earlier chapters. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not the body, mind. I am the supreme reality Brahman. Whatever happens to the body, mind, it does not affect me. I am always that. No birth, no death, no old age or anything, no changes. I am that one. That is a very difficult path. That was described in the second chapter. In the second chapter, Jnana Yoga is described. I will tell you one verse in the second chapter. What is Jnana Yoga? Chapter number 2, sloka number 20. That you know. There, Bhagavan describes what is supreme reality. Ajayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Jnana Yoga means a person has to consistently maintain this attitude. I'm not a body, mind. I am the supreme reality Brahman. What is that Brahman? Najayate, has no birth, always been in existence. There is no time at which God was born. If we ask what is the God's birthday, there is no birthday for God. Always been there. Before the creation, he was there, he will be there forever. Najayate namariyate, no end. But all other beings have a beginning and an end. Every being that we can think of, including stars and galaxies and people, animals, they all have a beginning and an adyantavantaha. Brahman has no beginning. I am that Brahman. It was never absent in the past, it will never be absent in the future. Ajaha, no birth. Nityaha, eternal. Shashvataha, Puranam. Shashvataha, permanent. Puranam, ancient. Sharire hanyamane nahanyate. 220 we are discussing. When a body dies, Atman does not die. I am that Atman. Bodies will come and go, like garments we are wearing. That is Jnana Yoga. Just not for all, for some people. How many of us can say I'm not the body? When I'm feeling well, in good health, no pain, nothing, then I can say I'm not the body. Even some problem comes, toothache comes, stomach ache, something comes, then immediately my mind goes to the body. So that is not for all. Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam. For majority of people, what is the path? See, in the 3rd chapter, sloka 3, Sri Krishna says, for majority people, karma yogena yoginam. You're all karma yogis because you're always doing some action. You cannot remain without performing action even for a short moment of time. Therefore, karma yoga is better for majority of people. That is said in chapter 3. Then Arjuna asks a question in chapter 5. We are discussing the background for sannyasa and tyaga. In the chapter 5, Arjuna asks the chapter 5 begins with Arjuna's question. What is sannyasa? Which is better? Sannyasa is better or karma yoga is better? Again, the question comes. If mention two paths, which is better, which is superior? That was Arjuna's question in chapter 5, sloka number 1. There Arjuna asked the question, Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme brohi sunishchitam. 5:1, chapter 5, sloka 1 begins. Arjuna asks, O Krishna, karmanam sannyasam shamsasi. Sometimes you say, give up karma. Then you say, yogam cha shamsasi. Then you say, yoga, karma has to be performed. Do karma yoga. Both of that you are saying every now and then. Etayoho ekam yatshreyaha. Of these two, sannyasa, giving up karma, performing karma, of these two, etayor ekam yatshreyaha, which is better for us? Tanme brohi sunishchitam. Decided certainly without equivocation, ambivalence, you should tell me which is better. Karma yoga better, jnana yoga better. Sannyasa, Arjuna asked specifically the question, chapter 5, sloka 1. Then in that chapter 5, the next 2-3 slokas, Sri Krishna, he gives a very nice answer. He does not say either karma yoga is better or jnana yoga is better. He says both are good. It depends upon one's temperament and choice. That he explains in slokas 4 and 5 of chapter 5. You are going back to earlier chapter because we are discussing sannyasa and tyaga, which is better for majority of people. So chapter 5, sloka 4 and 5. We have to go back and review earlier chapters frequently. There Sri Krishna says, Sankhya yoga pratak balaha pravadantina panditaha. Bala means children, beginning people. Children means beginning students, earlier stages of study. What do they say? Balaha pravadanti kimadanti. Sankhya yoga pratak. Pratak means separate. Sankhya is separate. Sankhya means jnana yoga here, path of knowledge. Karma is separate. They make a big distinction between these two. Actually, they may appear as two different paths, but if you practice one, you get the benefit of both. So, chapter 5, sloka 4, he says, Ekamapyastita samyak ubayor vindate phalam. In any of one of these two paths, jnana yoga or karma yoga. Sankhya yoga means jnana yoga or karma yoga. In whichever path you are well established, samyak astita, practice sincerely one of these, then ubayor phalam vindate, you get the benefit of following both. It's very interesting. Supposing you want to go from Washington to Chicago or Houston. Many different paths are there. I can take a flight or I can drive. I don't have to do both to go. You either take a flight or you drive. Not necessary to do both. So if you take a flight, you go to Houston from Washington. If you drive, you go to Houston. Whether you follow this path or that path, paths are different, but destination is the same. So Krishna gives us very interesting answer. whether you follow Sankhya Yoga, path of knowledge, or Karma Yoga, you will reach the same destination. Uvayor phalam vindate, get the result of going by both. Then is in the next sloka, 5.5, chapter 5, sloka 5. There Bhagavan says, Yat Sankhya prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankhya cha yogam cha yah pashyati sapashyati. Very nice verse. He says, chapter 5, sloka 5. Yat sthanam sankhya prapyate. Sthana means goal or destination, place. By following Sankhya Yoga, whatever goal you reach, destination you reach, tad yoga irapi gamyate. If you follow yoga, you'll go to the same destination. Paths are different, goal is same. Goal is God realization, Atma Jnana, pure devotion. That is the goal of life. Ekam Sankyam cha yogam cha. In this way, considering the result they produce, Sankhya Yoga both are same. Ekam Sankyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sapashyati. No big distinction, no big quarrel, whether discussion, whether Sankhya is better. Sankhya means Jnana Yoga here, or Karma Yoga is better. Both produce the same result. So that way, that is the proper understanding. Which path we should follow? That depends upon our individual temperament. That's where the place of a guru comes in spiritual life. The guru says, for you, this is the right path. So, for some people, I'll give a kind of a personal experience. In the beginning, I wanted to study all the scriptures, all the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and their Shankara's commentary, Ramanuja's commentary, everything I wanted to study. And I wanted to spend several years in India doing only this study of the scriptures. But my teacher said, that's not for you. I was disappointed. I wanted to study all the scriptures, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra especially. He said, it's not for you. Then I didn't feel good. He said, whatever path you are following now, combination of karma and bhakti. That was I was following. In the ashrama, combination of karma and bhakti. All the work that we do should be done as worship of God. In this ashrama, in every ashrama, in not only ashrama, in every home, every workplace. Whatever we do should be done as worship of God, karma yoga, as offering to God. And whatever we do should be done as worship bhakti yoga. That's what we have combined karma bhakti. Easy for many. What will you gain by studying all the scriptures? You will get scholarship, you will be able to quote, and you will get some titles, Vedanta Shiromani, like that one, some title will come. What will you do with that one? That was the right advice, but sometime I struggled with that one. So Guru gives direction on which path is better. So here it says both produce the same result. So need be no discussion which is superior. Both produce the same result. Now coming back to chapter 18, in the second shloka, Sannyasa Tyaga. Sri Bhagavana Vacha. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshana. Sannyasa means, sannyasa is often understood as relinquishing everything and going to the forest. That's not for all. We can practice sannyasa as a householder also. Even if a person is a householder, he can be a sannyasi. Sannyasa is not external. It is our internal change in our mind. Sannyasa means whatever action I am doing is offered to the Lord as my humble offering, as my seva, as my worship, as my service. One. Secondly, I'm going to give up all kamya karma. To give up kamya karma means selfish actions done only for my benefit, that you can give up anywhere. You don't have to go to forest to do that one. Being a householder, you can give up kamya karma. It's possible for everybody. It should be done by everybody. Everyone seeking spiritual path, following spiritual path, must give up selfish actions. Not for me alone. What is in it for me should not be the motivation for doing any action. By doing this action, may everybody benefit. If everybody is benefited, I'm also included in the everybody. So if I do some work which benefits the whole family, then I will also benefit because I'm a member of the family or workplace or this society. If everybody in this society benefits from my work, then I will also get the benefit. Not just for me alone, in the larger context. That is first idea. Karmanam, kamyaram karmanam nyasam, sannyasam kavayo viduhu. Second thing, sarva karma phala tyaga mistyaga. That can be done by everybody also. To give up karma phala, attachment to fruits of you don't have to go to forest or be separate from society. Wherever you are living, either as a householder, as a monk, or wherever, we have to do detachment. We have to practice detachment from all our karma phala. I'm doing the work, there my part ends. This is what Sri Krishna said earlier in the second chapter. See, 18th chapter is a recapitulation of all the things we studied before. Second chapter, Sri Krishna said, all of us have to perform our work. We can't escape work. Physically, it's not possible to escape what you have to do. That is given. So whatever work we do, we have to give up Nishiddha karma. That is given up. Now here said, give up Kamya karma also. The karma may be good, but if it is selfish, then give it up. Second instruction. Now, third instruction is, when you do any work, you are not to be attached to the fruits of the work. Only work is your responsibility. Karma phala is not in your control. Whatever work we do, we cannot either predict or control the fruit of our work. Very important instruction. Where did it come? Second chapter, sloka 47-48. Very important slokas. Second chapter, sloka 47-40. See, this karma yoga comes in almost all the chapters. Essence of Gita is karma yoga. Chagi, as Sri Ramakrishna said. Giving up fruits of action. Not giving up action. Action has to be done. Cannot be given, should not be given up. But karma phala has to be given. Attachment to karma phala. Karma phala also we can accept. That will come. If you go and work in an office for 30 days a month, you will get the paycheck. Then you accept the paycheck. You don't throw away the paycheck. But you do not use it only for personal benefit. Use it for the benefit of all. That spirit of renunciation in regard to fruits of action. That came in second chapter, 47-48. There, Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana te adhikaraha karmani eva. Paleshu ma te adhikaraha. In regard to fruit of action, you have neither control nor can you predict. Whatever comes, accept it. Second sloka, 48 sloka, next one. There, Sri Krishna gives a very important instruction. When you do some work, you cannot control the outcome. Success may come, failure may come, usually combination both will come. Whatever result comes, I have to do my best and accept the outcome calmly without being upset if it is not to my liking. 48, sloka 48, chapter 2. There, Sri Krishna says how to do our work. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. As a yogi, karma yogi, perform all actions. Sangam tyaktva, giving up attachment to karma phala both. Then second line is Sudhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Siddhi means success. Sometimes you succeed when you do some work. Sometimes you succeed more than we expected. Asiddhi means failure. If we don't get the result we expected, we lose, loss will happen, or it will not succeed. Whatever work we do, it may happen, that may happen. We don't know which will happen before, in advance. So, siddhyo samo bhutva, remaining equanimous. Sama means equanimous. Not being too much upset if the failure comes, not being too much exalted and celebrating if success comes. Because we don't know the next moment what will happen. Taking both in stride, success, failure, gain and loss, pain and pleasure, praise and blame, all come in life when you do something. You do something, some people praise you, some people blame you for the same action. But I should not be affected by that. People say whatever they want. This is the best thing that I could do. I've done in the best possible way, offered it to God. My responsibility ceases. Whatever result comes, it is not in my hands. I'll accept it calmly. That is instruction. So all those things have to be kept in mind. See, the Karma Yoga instruction has so many places in the Gita. The Lord has given the instructions again and again. Very important. We may talk about Jnana Yoga, Aham Brahmasmi, etc. But when it comes to daily life, it's all karma only. Karma, bhakti, best combination. Easiest path to reach God. So we come back to sloka number 2 in chapter 18. Sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshana. Vichakshana means pandita, those who know the truth. Tattva darshins, jnanis. They say, what is tyaga? Tyaga means sarva karma phalatyagam. Karma has to be done. Karma phala may also come. We'll accept it. We can't reject karma phala. It will come. But we are not attached to the karma phala. We don't expect this should happen, that should happen. We don't become upset if it does not happen. If that does not happen. Remaining equanimous in karma phala, offering everything to God or to society. Those who don't believe in God, how can they practice this one? They say, devotees say, I'm offering it to God. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, like this we say. But those who don't believe in personal God, they can do the same thing by offering all their work, fruits of all their work to society, to this country, to mankind, to whole of creation. Not just for me, may all and everybody benefit. They don't have to bring God into the picture for those who don't believe in God. But for those who believe in God, this is easier path. Oh Lord, I have done, you gave me the opportunity to do this work. The best way to have attitude, best attitude towards work is this. Gratitude first. Oh God, thank you for giving me the ability to do this work, opportunity to do this work. Whatever big or small you gave me, I've done it to the best of my ability, with devotion, with joy, with gratitude. I'm offering it to you as my humble offering, as my seva, service, as my worship. I've done it as worship. Please accept it. I don't want any benefit from it. May all benefit from it. I've done my part. And accepting the outcome nicely, calmly, whatever comes. That is the best, simplest attitude. That's what he's saying here. If you take the two lines together in the second sloka of 18th chapter, first thing is give up kamya karma. Easy to do. But may not be easy, but we have to do. Kamya karma. All karma that we do should benefit all and everybody, not just for me alone. One thing, kamya karma, give up. Easy to do. Second thing is give up attachment to all karma phala. Karma should be done. Karma cannot be given up. It's a physiological imperative. Karma can't do without karma. So in this third chapter, it says, if you don't do karma, even the body cannot be maintained. Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddheda karmana. So we have to eat and drink. That's karma for body maintenance. So karma cannot be given up. Karma phala has to be given up. Given up means detachment. Whatever comes is the grace of God. I've done my part. Success or failure, praise or blame, I accept it calmly, nicely. I'm thankful to God for giving me the opportunity to do this work. I've done the best in the best possible way as offering, as worship, and now I've offered it to God. My part ends. This attitude is what is being described. This can be done by anybody, anywhere. You can be a householder, having a full-time job, having family, children, maintaining a family, and taking care of all those numerous responsibilities householders have. And then at the same time, you can do this one. There's no special qualification required. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to go to the forest or anything. Wherever you are, wherever the Lord keeps us, in whatever condition He keeps, there we have to do our work as offering, as worship, and remain calmly, accept the outcome of work as God's prasada. I've done my part. This is His grace. I'm accepting it, good or bad, pain or pleasure. Thank you for this one. That is the instruction. It's very simple. Actually, it is not complicated. You don't have to bring all the philosophy and all those things here. See, 18th chapter. This, what we are going to study in 18th chapter, mostly it has come in the earlier chapters. So now we go to sloka number 3. How to perform karma phala tyaga is explained, chapter sloka number 3. Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana tapah karma natyajyam iti chapare. See, yajnadana tapa came before. In 17th chapter, it will come again in this chapter. Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana tapah karma natyajyam iti cha pare. Some intellectuals, manishinaha, people with knowledge, some intellectuals maintain that faulty work must be relinquished. Work must be done, should not be done, it should be relinquished because work is binding. Tyajam doshavat, as if it is dosha. Dosha means fault. Tyajam has to be given up. AK, some people, Manishuna Prahu, they maintain that one. Other people say apare, other people say yajna dana tapa karma natyajam iti chapare. Yajna dana tapa should not be given up. Some karma has to be given up. 2 kinds of karma have to be given up by all. What are they? One is nishiddha karma, immoral, illegal actions, telling lies, cheating. One kind of action to be totally given up. Second kind of karma to given up is kamya karma. Good action may be good, but if it is for selfish benefit, that has to be given up. That is to be given. That is to be understood. But 3 kinds of activities should never be given up. What are they that have to be done? Yajna, dana, tapas. That came before. It will come again in this chapter. Yajna means offering, doing sacrifice. Yajna means sacrifice. Whatever action we do should be done as yajna. If you do actions other than as yajna, not as an offering, then that is going to bind us. So instruction was, whatever action you do, do it as yajna. Where did we study that one? Chapter 3, sloka number 9. There Sri Krishna said, whatever action you do it as an offering. If you don't do it as an offering, you will be bound. Here, chapter 3, sloka number 9, Sri Krishna reminded us of this one. Whatever action you do it as an offering. If you don't do it as an offering, that karma will going to bind you. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. 3:9. Chapter sloka 9. Tasmadasaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. Yajnarthat anyatra, other than as yajna, other than as an offering. Any karma that we do, loka bandhana, the world is going to be bound by that. It will bind us. We don't want that one. We don't want bondage. We want freedom. Therefore, 3:9. Chapter sloka 9. So what we have to do? Sarvam karma asakta samachara. Tasmad asaktas karyam karma. Karyam karma means things that have to be done. Duty, obligatory duty. That should not escape. Even if it is unpleasant, that will come later. Sometimes the work we are assigned in the office or even in family, sometimes we have to do unpleasant work. Like cleaning, taking out the garbage and taking care of children, all those things, is not always easy or pleasant. That because it is unpleasant, we should not give it up. Unpleasant work should not be given up. If it is pleasant activity, you should not become attached to it. That will come in sloka number 10. We'll study that later. So all work need not be given up. Two kinds of work have to be given up. What are they? Nishiddha karma, prohibited actions, kamya karma has to be given up. Three kinds of karma have to be done. So in this sloka, what we have to do, what we should not do is been described here. What are the three kinds of action we have to do? Yajna, dana, tapa, karma, natyajam should not be given up. Yajna, dana, tapa. Dana means charity. We saw that before. Three kinds of dana we saw in chapter 17. Satvika dana, rajasic dana, tamasic dana. We started that one earlier in chapter 17. They have to be done. Sattvic dana has to be done. We are sharing is an important part of life. If we don't share all the gifts we have received from the nature, other people, animals, plants, and God, use it only for selfish benefit, we are being like thieves. Stena evata, 13th chapter we studied. We have to share. Sharing is an essential part of life. Very important. Dana has to be done in a sattvic way. Desha kala patra, all that we studied before. Yajna dana, tapah karma. Tapas means some kind of spiritual activity has to be done by everybody. But what about those who don't want liberation, who don't want God? Then that is their path is different. We are not going to change their life. We can't give instruction to anybody on how to live their life. Leave them alone. Right now, we are only focusing on our spiritual life. Seekers of God, seekers of realization, seekers of knowledge. That's what this is meant for. So these three things, yajna, dana, tapa, natyajam, should not be given up. Karyameva, have to be done. In some way, shape, or form, you have to do yajna, you have to do dana, you have to do tapas. So three kinds of yajna, dana, tapas we saw in the 17th chapter. Sattvic yajna, tamasic yajna, rajasic yajna, all those things we studied. Three kinds of dana, all those things. So we have to do sattvic activities, sattvic yajna, sattvic dana, sattvic tapas. They should not be, natyajam, should not be given up at all. Have to be done. Everybody need not do the same thing in the same way, depending on our circumstances. Some kind of dana has to be done. Some kind of yajna has to be done. Some kind of tapas has to be done. Three kinds of tapas we studied earlier. Shariram tapaha, bodily austerities, and Vagmayam tapaha, speech austerities, and Manasam tapaha, mind austerities, in sloka 14, 15, 16 of chapter 17. So all of those three have to be done. None of them should be given up. Three austerities in a sattvic way. So they should not be given up. Yajna, dana, tapah, karma, natyajam, karyameva, have to be done by everybody. No exception. Everybody should do yajna, dana, tapah. Two things have to be given up. What are they? Kamya karma and nishiddha karma. So this sloka clarifies what to do, what not to do. Very important instruction is given in this sloka. Now, sloka number 4. This begins another aspect of the subject. We'll chant this one, study next time. Sloka number 4. Nischayam sruname tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividam samprakirtitaha. Introducing three kinds of tyaga. Tyaga has to be done by everybody. Tyaga of kamya karma and nishiddha karma. How to give up? There are three ways of giving up. I can give up in a sattvic way, tyaga, in a rajasic way, in a tamasic way. Best way to give is sattvic way. So he's introducing the three kinds of tyaga. Nishchayam sruname tatra tyage bharata sattama. In regard to tyaga, listen to my decision, my mata. Me matam, Shruni me nishtayam. Nishtaya means my certainty, view with certainty, final decision. Me nishtayam Shrunu Bharata Sattama, O best among the Bharatas, Tyage Trividam, three kinds of Tyaga. Tyagoi Purusha Vyagra. Purusha Vyagra means the tiger among being of people. Arjuna is described as Purusha Vyagra. It means a very strong person. Vyagra means a very strong animal, tiger. Everybody is afraid of tiger, even other animals. So Arjuna was like that one. Veera, Shura. Tyagoi Purusha Vyagra. Trividaha. Three kinds of Tyaga are being described. Samprakirtita, they have been described by the sages. So the three kinds of Tyaga that we shall study in detail next time. And then before we go to three kinds of Tyaga, he again emphasizes Yajnadana Tapa. See, these three things have to be done by everybody. Again and again in the Gita, Sri Krishna emphasizes three things. Yajnadana Tapa have to be done by all spiritual seekers. No one can escape. So, sloka number 5. Yajnadana Tapa Karma Natyajyam Karyameva Tat. Again, the same thing came. Repetition. Yajnodhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. What is the benefit of Yajnadana Tapa? So many times Sri Krishna says, Yajnadana Tapa, do it, do it, do it. Don't give up. What will happen if you do Yajnadana Tapa? Pavanani manishin. The mind will become pure. The goal of all spiritual practice is to achieve purity of mind. Total selflessness, total purity, no impure thought must be entertained in the mind. When mind is become pure, God realization is imminent. God is already there in our hearts all the time, He is never absent. But we are not aware of His presence. We are not experiencing His presence. What is the obstruction? Our mind is impure. All kinds of desires are there. Sometimes we become angry, jealous, all these things. If the impurities are removed, mind becomes pure, sattva samshuddhi, then God's presence becomes immediately apparent. Oh, He was already there all the time. The eyes did not know. The mind becomes like a clear sheet of transparent glass, and you can see His presence. That's why Yajnadana Tapa had to be done. Why? Because they are Pavanani Manishinam. It purifies the mind of seekers of God. So we'll stop here, and I shall say the closing prayer. Then you can have time for your comments and questions. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may all be happy. May all be free from diseases and other problems. May all realize and practice what is noble, dharmic and auspicious. May no one be subject to any kind of suffering or misery. Om, peace. May there be peace in our hearts. Adhyatmika Shantihi. May there be peace and harmony amongst all beings. Adi Bhautika Shantihi. And may there be peace everywhere in nature. Adi Daivika Shantihi. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om Tat Sat. May this Gita study become a spiritual activity. May it benefit all and everybody. That's our humble prayer. Now it is your turn.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Before
Very
I
nice.
ask, I started listening, Swamiji, to your first Bhagavad Gita that you started, and saw your liking and enthusiasm for Bhagavad Gita, and the way you explain all the shlokas and say it nicely.
Somebody is saying something. The sound is not coming.
Oh, I know, sir. Somebody keeps saying. Is this better now? The sound better?
Something is wrong.
You are low, Seemaji. Your volume is very, very low.
Here it is. Our sound is audio is okay. Input.
Yeah, I have it as loud as I can be. Is that better? Speaking louder.
Okay, say it again.
I said, I enjoy your Bhagavad Gita. I started watching it from the beginning. And I like your enthusiasm and shlokas and readings and your explanation.
Hmm.
And my question is, yes, do all these karmas for benefit of not just for oneself, but everybody and
Yeah.
society. But then there is a very good chance of spiritual exploitation. How do you handle that? Because I've been told, oh, you're on a spiritual path, so why don't you do this, that, and the other? So that, how do you handle spiritual exploitation, Swami?
Exploitation.
Spiritual
What is, if I follow my spiritual path, Yajnana Tapa, if I do, if I refrain from doing Kamya Karma and Nishiddha Karma, and do all actions as offering or worship of God with love, devotion, then that's all we are required to do. So where is the obstruction to that one?
Well, when you're doing something, or if you don't want to do something, then people say, okay, you're on a spiritual path, why don't you do it? So I'm just wondering, how does
Can you give an example? We are not able to follow what the exploitation was.
Well, sometimes they say, oh,
Anyway, think about it and let me know next time.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Think about it, then it'll become clear.
Okay.
Then we can discuss that one. Sometimes the questions come, but they are not clear in our minds. We have some doubt or question, but it's somehow not easy to articulate it. So next time we can bring it.
One answer for her, Swamiji, is not to tell people about your spiritual practices. It's up to you. You just keep it to yourself and do whatever you want. We don't need to tell others that we're doing japa, homa, whatever.
That's not it's everyday example. Why don't you do this, whether you like it or not? Why don't you do it because you're on a spiritual path? And that becomes an exploitation. One of the Swamijis I heard, he said, well, use your common sense. You don't have to do everything that everybody says, because that can put you in a maybe sometimes a financial bind, or sometimes you're giving up your too much of yourself and people take advantage. I can't think of
The Swami said, use your common sense.
Yeah.
I think that's a good advice. Very good.
Yeah.
Gita ji, how are you? Very nice.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Kamalamma. Namaskaram.
Kumar has a question.
Get everybody. Junu from Tallahassee. Very nice.
Swamiji, yeah.
All of you stay well, and God willing, we shall see you all next week.
Swamiji, Kumar has a question. Kumar, you need Kumar to speak up.
Yeah. No, I'm just waiting for Swamiji. He was talking something. I didn't want to interrupt. Swamiji, I have a question. How much ever we try, we would have some kind of a small amount of selfishness, at least to the extent that it doesn't, whatever we do don't affect us. Of course, in Karma Yoga, we are saying that we should do something, whether it affects us or not, is not this one, right? Leave it to God. But let's say something affects us even when we do good. Should
That's
we?
okay. If we do some action, if we benefit from it, it's okay. We should not shun the good result. Accept it with equanimity.
Even if it has a negative effect, is what you're saying, right?
Negative effect like what?
To us, in the sense, we do something good, we get back some negative.
Yeah, bad feedback. People don't like it. Do something good,
right?
But they don't like other people. They criticize it. They said you did it for selfish. But some criticism they will do.
Right.
But your intention was clean and you did it in an unselfish way. That's all you can do. You can't control what other people think. Even if you do something good, other people criticize me for doing that one. You're doing it to get name and fame like that, they will say. I'm not doing it for name and fame. In my mind, I'm clear. I'm doing it as an offering worship. But if they misunderstand and criticize me, then the best thing is not to react to that one. That is explained in Gita, sloka 12, chapter 12, sloka number 15. 12:15. There, a devotee should not be disturbed by what other people say about him or her, and the devotee should not himself or herself say anything that disturbs other people. 12:15. That one. So if other people criticize, though your intention is good, in your mind you are clear, then there it ends.
So is it okay, like, let's say, if that is something which is happening, right, probably a little more on a continuous basis, is it okay to stop doing that thing which we think is beneficial?
If it benefits other people, you have to continue. And
even though other people don't think like it.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're saying? Let's say we think something is beneficial, and if someone, like, let's say it benefits like 5 people, and 2 people are pretty upset about it and are against us, and kind of, it kind of disturbs us. Of course, obviously we try to be undisturbed in our spiritual path, but we are not perfect. So in that case, should we stop it, in the sense, why get unnecessary thing back?
What work you should do is your duty. You have to ascertain. Niyatam kuru karmatvam, he said. What your duty is, that you have to do. And you do it in a way that it benefits everybody in the context. That's all is expected. What you should do is what you are required to do, that is defined as your duty. That you have to ascertain what your duty is and do that one. In the workplace, you know what you are given some work, that's your duty you have to do. In the family, you have certain responsibility that you have to do. That's your duty that you have to do. What other people say should not be the main consideration. And do it, whatever you do it as an offering in an unselfish way. That's all. Why worry about what other people think or say?
One more question, Swamiji. Can a householder at some point of time take karma sannyas? Of course, there is something called retirement age. Some people work even further if they are not in a government service or something like that. But usually what happens is, once a person retires, the worldly people seem to give them lesser respect and lesser this one. And how does one kind of be of acceptance of that, or is it like, should we not take that nonsense?
See, whether if you retire early, some people will criticize you. This is what.
Correct. No, not early, but even, again, early is again a very this one, right? It can mean anything. It can mean 40 years old, 60 years old, or 70. So let's say, for example, a person says, hey, enough is enough. I want to concentrate more spiritually, and work-wise, I just want to kind of either minimize it or stop working, in the sense working outside.
Okay.
And whenever someone does that, especially for a man, if they do that, their respect at home, I hear, again, I don't know, their respect goes down. So
see, when you want to retire, at what age, depends upon the total circumstances, your family responsibilities, your job responsibility, and your ability, all those things. That is your decision. What other people think about it, why you should worry? You can't control what other people think about it. If you work until 70, they say, oh, he's still working, you should have retired 20 years ago. They will say like that. If you retire at 50, they say, why is retiring so early? You should work for another 20 years. So that is the nature of the one. So you make the decision depending upon your circumstances. your need and other things. What other people say, whether early retirement or late retirement, we can't control what other people say or think. It's
Swamiji,
not possible. They will, whatever you do, some people praise, some people blame. So don't worry about that one. Just decide yourself what is the best thing to do. Do it. When to retire, do it.
On the one additional thing, on the spiritual front, what is the right time to say this one? Is it more material than spiritual action?
Actually, you can do all secular activity as spiritual activity. That's what Gita, Sri Krishna has been saying. Spiritualize all activities. Every work that you do, accepting Kamya Karma, Nishidha Karma, do it as worship. Then everything becomes spiritual activity. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no big difference. In the beginning, it appears to be separate. Oh, this is secular, worldly activity. This is spiritual, God realization. Like that one, we make a big difference. But throughout Gita, he has been saying, do everything as worship. It will come in this 18th chapter also, it will come. Sloka 46. There, Sri Krishna is going to say, whatever activity you do, accepting, of course, Kamya Karma, Nishidha Karma, that is all given, first step. You don't go back to that one. Whatever activity you do is an offering as worship of me. If you do that one, it doesn't matter what you do, as worship. So they're always worshipping God. Every word I say is worship of God. Every morsel of food I eat is worship of God. Every step I take is worship of God. This is what Shankaracharya said. Yad yat karma karomi tat tadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. Whatever karma I do, O Lord Shambhu, tavaradhanam is worship. If you do all activity as worship, then there is no big difference which work you do. So that is so simple. Let us
can
stop.
I add a little? Swamiji, can I add a little on this topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I retired 5 years ago when I was around 70. Okay. I felt that I have done all my family duties. So now I can spend more time in the spiritual. And I read Swami Brahmarupananda's 3-volume Gita. And now I'm of course enjoying your Gita lecture for last 2 years or 1.5 years or so. And we go to Boston, Rhode Island, Vedanta Society of Washington, Chicago, St. Louis.
Very good.
And also we are active.
Come to Washington also.
To some extent in Raleigh area.
Yeah.
And I do not feel that I'm being looked down upon just because I'm retired. No. So
I have another perspective, if you don't mind. Nobody knows till when we're going to live and die, right? So I would say don't wait for retirement to start your spiritual practice. Who knows what's going to happen next minute, right? When I go down to get my tea now, I might slip and fall, and who knows, right? I'm just giving an example. So as Krishna says, whatever you're doing, if you're working or if you're retired or whatever, yat karoshi, whatever you're trying to do it as an offering to God. You don't have to literally retire to do your work, right? Just that is my thing. And as long as answering Mr. Kumarji's question, as long as you're not dependent on others for your living, why would you care? Why would they put you down? If you retire and then start asking the money and if you start depending, then yeah, human nature is selfish. They will do once or twice, but no brother, no sister, nobody will take care of you forever, right? Those days are gone where people used to have a joint family and one brother, one sister. If they are not capable, others won't mind. Now everybody is selfish. They take care of just themselves. So as long as you're independent, your spiritual, that both should run parallelly. Your spiritual life runs parallelly. Make time because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. So the only thing that will come with you is your spiritual merit, not the money you gained and all that. This satsangam with Swamiji is one of our biggest blessings that will come with us wherever we go, wherever our soul goes after this birth. So I just want
the biggest blessing.
Pranam, Swamiji, pranam.
Okay, then let me conclude. The notion that spiritual life begins after retirement is wrong.
Yes.
Spiritual life begins this moment. It should have begun at our birth. This moment, we start spiritual life, not after retire. There should no clear line. This is spiritual, this is worldly activity, secular. After retirement, I'll do spiritual life. Not like that. Every moment is spiritual activity. So let us stop here, it's getting late, and next time we shall continue. Other.